Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who taught me this truth, and much respect to the Akim out there labeling his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth at the USA. Shalom. Yeah, so I want to go into a lesson that's pretty much centered around the time that we see approaching. If you in the know, man, you in the know, you understand very well what season we in, as the Lord is beginning to pretty much pull away that mercy in the form of this truth by limiting the access to it, with these different executive orders or legislations being signed off to regulate the internet, which is the Lord literally causing the feminine word to begin to take place. So what comes after that? When the Lord takes away his mercy, and, according to the times of old, wrath ensued after that. So that's what we see being prepared with Trump. All right. Pushing forth national guards throughout DC, and that's going to be all throughout the United States and these major cities, man. Okay. And the prime target is who? You Jakes. Hence the time of what? Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 37, the time in which we constantly warn you about a great millstone. Because see, the times are coming in which you're going to know that you only hearing the report is what really mattered, because right now you got a lot of people mocking and scoffing. We see Manat Zabba constantly putting up videos showing Jake's open rebellion towards the Most High. All right, and this Hebrew Israelite thing, man. And they just falling right into the line of their forefathers. So yeah, I mean, there has to be a calling per se, a cleansing of Israel, and this is what Jacob's trouble is going to serve: a purging of the rebels, and a refining of the elect, as the Lord's going to bring us through the fires, Lord willing, with that number. But we see that judgment is well needed right now. All right, Jake is taking wickedness to a whole nother level. Right, the Hawaiian culture, you got niggas wearing skirts, you got pride events in Louisiana, niggas in all red, big muscular niggas. And so yeah, I mean, pride has reached its height. So now, it's a time of judgment. So we can't be offended when we see these people out here get put to death, because anyone, it don't matter who it is, man. If they die outside his faith, what does that mean? That means that at some point within their lifetimes, they denied the Lord's prophets. Okay? And the Lord chose their illusions. And that path in which he chose for them led into their death. So we have to know that however Jake get put down, it was justified. All right? Because they denied our Lord Yahushua and the prophets of old. Ezekiel 7:10, the day of judgment is here. It's in the NLT. At your destruction awaits. The people's wickedness and pride have blossomed to full flower. Again, Jake is at a whole nother level, with their wickedness, man. All right. To the point where it's almost unbearable. Okay. And this links up with Ezekiel 9:4. Let's grab that real quick. Just had to pull it up here. So it says, and the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashemashah, said unto him, go to the midst of the city. He's speaking to an angel. Go to the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which we know to be a people before it's a place, which are you Israelites out there, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay. It says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right. There's a lot of things going on in this earth, man, that's out of order, that's abominable, that should have you constantly in the spirit of, one to seek judgment. See? And if you're comfortable here, then that means that, hey, this mark is pretty much not upon you because you're not sighing and crying. Strong's H8420. The Y. All right. So the mark is a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. So when you're exempt from something,
Exemption.
so here it says the process of freeing or state of being free from an obligation or liability imposed on others. Because yeah, the Lord is coming back to judge Israel according to the law. And as we know, all Israel has sinned. So we need a covering. And that covering comes through our Lord Yahweh Shai, which makes us exempt from judgment. You see? Because it's just like during the time of Egypt, when the Lord sent forth the death angel to smite Egypt. The Israelites had blood up on their doorposts, which is symbolic unto the day of the Israelites having Yahweh's blood up on their mind due to this mark right here, which makes them exempt from judgment. So the death angels are going to pass over the elect because we have this mark, which begins with the name of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. See? So the names are very important pertaining to salvation. So again, and the Lord said unto him, this angel, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, the other angels, the death angels, and go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, and neither have ye pity. So what this is showing is, Lord pretty much sealing off his elect before the time of judgment. All right. So when the Lord gets done sealing his elect, he's going to bring forth the wrath. So the death angel is going to be sent forth in the form of, the troops, first and foremost, Esau Edom, which is that, that pit bull that the Heavenly Father is holding with his left hand that he's keeping back. In the meantime, in his grace period, he's saying to his people, hey, go back into the house. I'm about to turn him loose. And Jacob's like, you ain't about to turn that dog loose. Jacob's still outside playing and bullshitting in that merry spirit, and pretty much tempting the Lord. So we're in a time in which we see the Lord loosening the reins and get ready to pop the chain on the dog, man. And when Esau gets turned loose, hey, they're going to devour. And that's a form of these death angels working through Esau to punish Jake for their rebellion, man. You see? So it's important to stay or to get in the house as a warning is going on right now to you Israelite. But as we see, Jake is not going to take this thing serious, man. So it says again, and to the others he said, "Among hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare, and neither have ye pity. So slay early, old, and young, both maids and little children and women." All right, so anyone can get it, basically. Anyone from your old maids, your old grandmas, all the way down to your newborns, man. The women, anyone's going to be able to get it if you don't have this mark. So it says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, which is talking about your leaders. A lot of you subscribe to false leaders, and by you doing that, you're partaking within you're going to partake within that judgment as well. See? Because the Lord chose paths to follow, but there's only one path, that's going to lead unto salvation. And with the majority of these Israelite camps that leading you to a path of destruction. So yes, we see Jake in a rebellion, going off and doing whatever the hell they want to do, man. We can see that the judgment is well needed. So let's get to Jeremiah 14:10. Here it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah unto this people, they thus have they love to wonder. See, they have not refrained their feet. Yeah, so Jake doesn't like restrictions. They like to test the boundaries of the Most High. So here's a reason why the Lord sent forth prophets, as a form of mercy to tell you to get back in line. Because right now you got Jake dwelling in all these different philosophies, man. Yeah, we know about Christianity, we know about Islam, but also this YN culture, man. You got niggas wearing skirts now. this younger generation is through. And this is the reason why, again, the Lord is setting up Trump to push forth or to bring forth, troops within the cities to tackle the crime. All right. Because you YN, you young niggas, you got to control, man, and Jake in general. And there has to be a correction here. There has to be a form of correction. The only way they're going to be corrected is by, the sword. So it says, thus have they love to one another, they have not refrained their feet. Therefore, the Lord doth not accept them. He will now remember their iniquity and visit their sin. So this is what's currently happening. All right. Happened before and it's happening again. So Jake is about to be visited by the Heavenly Father because of the transgression, because you had the prophets out here, man, constantly warn you. But Jake really didn't consider. Verse 11, then said the Lord unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. You see? So we're not to pray for these ignorant ass, dumb ass, degenerates out here, man, who are just too far gone. All right. Especially these, you got these sodomites out here in Louisiana and all red, and, Jake with crop top friend is on. Like niggas and heard the gospel, but they got worse and worse. Here it is, you hear that you're an Israelite, but you got a crop top on, a friend is on, and you're making a rap video, man. So Jake never took this thing serious. You even got, chief Israelites playing with, dildos. Like, so the sins of Israel is to the point of where it just need to be put down, man. That's the only thing that we can come up with at this point. Jake and their rebellion and their refusal to come back, how else can they learn besides the sword, you see? So when they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offering in an obligation, I will not accept them, but I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. Because a siege is nothing new with the Most High. And this is one of the ways that he waged his war with you Israelites out there. We saw that during the time of Jerusalem with the Babylonians who came and sacked the temple. We saw it in 70 AD. And it progressively got worse and worse. So how much more in these times? All your cities going to be cut off by troops. All right, eventually FEMA troops, foreign troops are going to be in your cities. And they're going to be mowing you down because it's the fury of the Lord, man. They're going to have no mercy. So we at the beginning stages of that. So not only are they going to mow you down, but they're also going to cut you off from being able to access food, for going in and out of the city, all right, to get what you need for you and your family. Happened in 70 AD is going to happen again, man. A lot of you going to commit cannibalism. You're going to eat your own children, right? It's going to be a very terrible time. It says, and by the pestilence. Yeah. Because when you're malnutrition, you get sick. People die. Their bodies rot and disease spread. So on top of that, you got these devils who are going to be spraying stuff in your cities, targeted towards you, Jake. So it's going to be a very, very horrible time, man. Okay. But you chose to listen to false leaders, people who want to tell you that everything is going to be all right. When has the Lord ever sent for the prophet to tell you that everything is going to be all right? No. When something was going off, the Lord would raise up a prophet to warn you, to tell you that, hey, nah, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop worshiping these guys. But Jake didn't really consider it till it was too late. So verse 13, then said I, Lord power, behold, the prophet said unto them, you should not see sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. In this place, you see? This is basically what they're telling you if they're not warning you about the prophecy, the said perils, Jacob's trouble. Then the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. All right. I sent them not, and neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination. You see? And a thing of not, and the deceit of their heart. See? So therefore, thus saith the Lord power concerning the prophets that prophesied in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine should not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. See? So the heads, those leaders who are leading you in error, all right, they're going to be consumed by the same things in which they said was not going to happen. And guess what? Those who follow them are going to suffer the same judgment. So it says, and the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword. So if you're following IUIC and they're not preaching and warning you about these things through the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, then they're going to lead you into this type of predicament when these troops come in, man. So, and the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem, because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them, man. See that? So we're in that season. We're definitely in that season of judgment. And it's the reason why the Heavenly Father got, the Spirit, searching the churches. Make sure everything is going accordingly, because, we just in that time, and we don't want to be, judged with the world. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Right. So 1 Corinthians 11:32. But when we are judged, and we are chastened of the Lord is correcting us in measure. It says that we should not be condemned with the world, because we want to be found blameless when these things begin to commence. So correction, is something that's well needed right now, and it's something that should be accepted, because we don't want to be condemned with the world. So going back to 2 Chronicles 36:15, and let's read this in the NLT. So 2 Chronicles 36:15, the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah, the God of their ancestors, it's a repeatedly sent his prophets to warn them, for he had compassion on his people in his temple. Yeah, so we are sent forth as mercy from the Heavenly Father, so that you may consider, repent, and be preserved. But the people mocked messengers of the Most High and despised their words. See, and again, Elamanat Zabba, man, there's a spirit on him to go into all these scoffers and mockers on TikTok and various different, platforms, and let us know that, this is what these people really think about us, man. It's been put on full display for us to see, to let us know that, hey, when the Lord brings forth this judgment, we understand exactly why, the Lord's going to do what he's going to do. All right. It says they scoffed at the prophets until the Lord's anger could no longer be restrained and nothing could be done. See, until there's no remedy. So the Lord's anger is going to be made manifest through who? Esau, Edom, his pit bull, man, aka the sword. So when he doesn't restrain Esau, he gives him the leeway through these legislations to sign off, justifying him into pouncing on you Israelites like that, man. Hey, he's going to consume you. And you're going to be crying for the Lord, but the Lord's not going to hear in that time, because you didn't hear him right now. You see? Yeah, I think there's let's get that real quick. Let's go to Zechariah 7 verse 11. Yep. So Zechariah 7:11. But they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts had sent in the spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts, man. So therefore it has come to pass that as he cried and they would not hear it, the Lord is, crying out through us right now. So they cried and I would not hear. said the Lord of hosts. See? Because at the end of the day, man, mercy is going to be the only thing to sign out for when these plays begin to take place. But Esau is on your ass with his AI technology, his robot dog, these new weapons that he has not really shown yet. That's going to be geared towards destroying you, Jakes. You see? You're gonna want mercy then, but it's not gonna be found because you took the words of the Most High lightly, man. So pray not for these people. Jake needs to be put down to 2/3, and we just pray that we're not a part of, that undesirable number, man. You know. So yeah, just want to go through it real quick. So Lord willing, you edified. Till next time I say, Shalom.